Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're doing a market pulse focus, and we are diving headfirst into the hidden structural shift and, honestly, the fascinating economic reality of the global body jewelry market. This isn't just about aesthetics anymore. Not even close. It's really about a massive industry transformation. And it's being driven by hard science, strict regulations, and some seriously hyper-aware consumers.
So let's get right into it. $2.1 billion. That is the massive headline size of the total addressable market right now. But if we look a little closer, that giant number is actually masking a really critical internal divergence. I mean, if you just glance at the top-line revenue, you'd probably think, wow, this is just one big, happy, growing industry. But underneath that surface, a massive financial fault line has completely opened up. The market is drastically bifurcating, literally splitting into two completely opposing camps. On one side, you've got the professional studio-grade segment, which is just booming. And on the other, the fashion and costume jewelry market, which is rapidly cracking. It's crazy. The cheap, non-compliant fashion side of the business is practically dying out right before our eyes. We're seeing a permanent structural shift where materials that actually meet medical-grade standards are capturing pretty much all of the new growth. So here is exactly how we'll unpack this market correction today. We'll start with a market divided, then move into the biocompatibility premium, followed by global hotspots and regulations. After that, we'll look at what drives the growth, and finally wrap up with navigating industry risks. Let's jump in.
All right, part one, a market divided, professional versus fashion. The numbers here are honestly wild. Driven by a solid 6.8% global compound annual growth rate, the professional segment now captures 62% of the global market. Compare that to just 48% back in 2018. Studios are flat out refusing to stock cheap costume jewelry anymore, and because they're taking a stand, they are gaining massive market share. On the flip side, manufacturers who can't actually document where their materials come from, they are rapidly losing their contracts. This whole dynamic is captured perfectly by one crucial quote from the research. This is not a trend, it is a correction. And that hits the nail right on the head. Consumers are just highly informed now. They realize that a cheap acrylic barbell isn't just, a budget-friendly choice. It actually carries massive infection risks, the very real threat of nickel dermatitis, and mechanical failures. The market is quite literally forcing a self-correction towards safety and longevity. Moving right along to Section 2, the Biocompatibility Premium, or what I like to call the Materials Revolution. When we break down the actual market share of the materials being used, titanium and surgical steel lead the pack, taking up about 44% of the market, with titanium being the fastest grower in that slice. Acrylic sits at 26%, but as we mentioned, that's actively shrinking. Precious metals like your golds and platinums hold a highly profitable 18%. But listen, the real sleeper here is that 12% slice, the polymer segment. We're talking materials like Bioflex and PTFE, which are fast becoming the gold standard for oral piercings and medical-grade applications. Get this, that specific segment is projected to double in revenue within just 3 years. No joke. Now, when we talk about titanium, we are absolutely not talking about some commercial-grade mystery metal. Consumers are treating fresh piercings like open wounds today, which, technically they are. So they are demanding certified implant-grade materials, specifically things with an ASTM F36 certification. This is a standard that requires incredibly strict limits on impurities and a very specific metallurgical structure to ensure true biocompatibility. It's so serious that reputable manufacturers are literally laser etching this ASTM number right onto the tiny pieces of jewelry. All right, Section 3, Global Hotspots and Regulations. Let's talk supply chain pressure. This single number is completely reshaping the European market right now. 17%. That is the surprising percentage of European women who have nickel allergies. And actually, about 3% of men do too. To put that into perspective, that number is so large it is permanently shrinking the demand for older, cheaper materials like 316L surgical steel across the board, mainly because that steel actually contains about 10 to 14% nickel by weight. So because of these high allergy rates, Europe's famously strict REACH regulations are stepping in. They now formally classify nickel as a skin sensitizer, which heavily restricts its use in any jewelry that contacts pierced skin. This regulatory hammer is basically forcing an entire continent to pivot away from those older steel alloys and move entirely toward titanium, niobium, and precious metals. If we look at the regional breakdown, North America definitely leads in total size. We're looking at roughly $840 million, growing at a steady 6.2%. Europe sits at $615 million, which, as we just discussed, is heavily driven by those strict REACH regulations. But you have to check out the Asia-Pacific region. They are seeing an explosive 7.5% growth rate. And this is deceptive because it's not just manufacturing for export anymore. It's driven heavily by massive domestic consumption. For instance, China's middle class is adopting piercing at Western rates now, and there is a huge surge in piercing tourism in destinations like Seoul and Bangkok.
Okay, moving on to Section 4. What drives the growth? Let's look at the cultural catalysts. The underlying growth drivers here reveal a complete, undeniable cultural shift. The old stigma around body piercing? Yeah, that's largely gone. In fact, the 35 to 54 age group is now the fastest growing demographic for cartilage and nostril piercings. Meanwhile, the male piercing segment is growing at nearly double the rate of the female segment. Add in the demand for medical-grade safety, that international piercing tourism we just talked about, and of course, TikTok's massive curated ear trend, which drives a ton of demand for premium mixed metals in multiple cartilage piercings. You put all that together, and you have the perfect storm for high-end volume growth.
But what's incredibly interesting to me is the direct return on investment here. Studios that actually take the time to offer materials safety education as part of their piercing consultation, they are seeing a 30% increase in average transaction values. Let that sink in. Transparency and education are no longer just, nice things to do. They definitely aren't cost centers. They are massive, proven revenue drivers that serve as the single best upselling tool a business can have today.
Finally, Section 5. Navigating industry risks and protecting your studio.
Make no mistake, the biggest risk in this newly premium market is absolutely counterfeit supply chains. Right now, there is a flood of fake titanium jewelry out there, made from cheap, unverified alloys. And the reality is, a single counterfeit incident involving these cheap metals being passed off as medical-grade titanium can instantly destroy a studio's reputation. It will completely shatter client trust, and honestly, you might never get it back. So how do you actually protect yourself against this? Well, to survive this market shift, studios have to proactively execute 3 very specific compliance checks. First, you have to demand batch-level material certification from every single supplier. No exceptions. Second, check that nickel release rates are strictly below 0.2 micrograms per square centimeter per week. And third, verify all pigment and alloy ingredients against the ECHA candidate list of substances of very high concern. Seriously, if a supplier cannot provide this documentation for you within 48 hours, you have to drop them and find someone who can. Which brings us to the end of our analysis today. I want to leave you with this final thought to chew on. As this industry shifts aggressively away from cheap fast fashion and moves toward verified medical precision, is your supply chain or, your own skin truly ready for the correction? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer on the structural realities of the body jewelry market. Keep learning, keep asking the tough questions, and I will see you next time.